Good morning and welcome to Sunday Soul Talk with Lori Devitott. Very gray day here in Florida right now. I don't know if it's going to clear up. I didn't look. There's so much I could talk about, and I don't know. As usual, I don't know what's going to come out. Mm. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was blown away by what? I was blown away by me watching one of my videos. I didn't think I had posted it to Facebook, I mean to YouTube. And so I had to go back to see what I had said. And within the first 5 minutes or less of this video, I right away had said how Peter and I are doing this. Now, he doesn't watch these videos, he has his own thing going on. Every once in a while, he pops in and does something to make me laugh or whatever. Hi, Cher. Good Sunday morning to you. And I sent you a video, Cher, that a near death experience thing that talks about how when you watch them, even though you haven't had a near death experience, you your body feels, it remembers, and they talk about it. Oh, it's you're gonna love it. Anyway, so I had watched this video and it talked about how Peter and I are bickering. Like I'll say something and he fights. It's just been building in the past, I don't know. Good morning, Margie. God, it's just been intense lately, and I didn't know what it was, and that's what I talked about in my thing. It like within the first 5 minutes. So when I was watching it back, in order to get a title for it, I saw that, and then the following, right after that, I was saying how Christina has disengaged from George's disengaged. So it's not so volatile because it's that little me needing to be right. And Sherry witnessed it yesterday. Anyway, I saw those two things. I said right away that I want to get to the bottom of this. It's time to figure this out. So the very next thing was and then I say, I want to talk to George. I want to have a conversation with this man. Within a week, actually less than a week, when George invited me to go on the boat by myself, just me and him, because he wanted to talk. And then after my talk, it, within a week, after my talk of the following Sunday, Peter says, we've got to talk. And it was about, he goes, you sound like your parents. The bickering, the needing to be right is such a deep seated need, because the message or the underlying, the subconscious belief is I am wrong. And if I'm wrong, there's something wrong with me and I'm bad for some, that's so it's got to come out fighting. So anytime you're in the needing to be right, you know you're coming from your mind. You know you're coming from that ego, little me that needs to fight life, that needs to be right, needs to, I mean, and then I think I said last week about when you say, I wouldn't do, I was talking with somebody. Gwen, the girl that I work with, the teacher, she, which I think this job's coming to an end on Wednesday. I'm only good through Wednesday this week, so I'm going back to who knows what, back to the unknown. So it's kind of cool to see the known and the unknown and what it does in your body. It brings up fear. I can feel it. I can feel it. So I know I'm going to plow right through it and just be myself through the whole thing. Anyway, shoot, I completely lost the train of thought. It was something about. Damn it! Oh, the teacher. She saw somebody on the playground the day before, and she was sitting on this thing where kids can play on, but she was sitting watching her kid, and so she was stopping the other kids from playing on the thing, or they had to go around her and continue on, whatever. And I heard she said, "I wouldn't do that. Isn't that rude?" When we judge another as rude, we are literally judging ourselves. That we're seeing ourselves as someone that needs to judge. And I'm not saying it's bad, it's automatic. That's what our minds do. It takes offense to what somebody else is. So yesterday, Sherry called me. Peter and I went on a long bike ride. We ended up going. Oh my god, we haven't been on bikes in months. It's been so hot here. We have not been on them at all. So it was beautiful Saturday. We had nothing going in the morning. The rest of the day was all planned, and none of it worked out the way we thought it was going to. But there was a thought in there saying, you know, knowing that there was like a underlying knowing that it wasn't going to work out, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what caused it to not work out, but there wasn't a confidence in it working out, and it didn't. We were supposed to go to the boat show. We were supposed to go to the car show. And none of it happened the way we thought it was. There was no. The car show was over by the time we got there, and everybody was packing up from the art show. Then we get to Fort Myers Beach nice and early. We're going to see the boat parade. We go down to where we thought we'd watch it from, Nervous Nellie's. No parking, zero parking. We were there at between 4 and 4:30, so we were very early. Then, because we'd had a parking spot, at least we thought. So then we thought, well, maybe we'll go over to Salty Sam's where the boat show was starting and ending. Both restaurants, we did find parking, but the restaurants were fully packed. This is like 4:30, quarter of five, something like that. So we were stuck there getting out. There was no restaurants open. Not that we had to eat. And then I started thinking maybe we're because we don't really have to eat. We ate later for lunch, or we ate something filling at noon. So, but we ended up coming out of that road, and to go back across the bridge was going to be impossible. And then I started thinking about getting off the bridge after the boat show. I said, you know what? Let's watch it on YouTube tomorrow morning. That's what we're going to do. I've already seen pictures on Facebook of it. And somebody said there's another boat show. I don't know. They also said it was the 13th, which I have plans on the 13th. Gonna watch. Gonna go with my nephew's girlfriend's two daughters and her sister to her sister's house to watch the Taylor Swift, the new her Eras tour. It's a Disney Plus. So it's a continuing thing. Anyway, I'm a full blown Swiftie now. Just because her latest album is just wow, 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 wow. And she's still kind, humble and kind. And I don't know, I just love her. I just love how she handles her life. Anyway, so Peter and I, it came up to, we're deciding to ask, say what we appreciate about each other at night. So that is top of the morning, Jimmykins. Thank you, my old bud. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for checking in. So we started at night saying, I appreciate you, blah, 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 blah. So yesterday, um, he came up. I was on the phone with Sherry and on part of our bike ride before going over the big bridge. Hi, Melissa. Um, and I said to him, or Sherry asked about um, leasing a car. And Peter and I had leased a truck way back. It was a great truck. We loved it. It was the most comfortable truck we've ever had, honestly. So much so that we drove it down here after we bought it. So I when I first got it, see, she's worried. Sherry's talking to different people about leasing, and most people are like, it's just like throwing your money in a. Well, cars are like that, Sherry. I came to realize that thought came to me yesterday. Cars are throwing money away. I mean, they get you where you need to go, but they depreciate. They don't appreciate. You're not going to get your money back. But we had gotten a lease on this truck, and it was only $300 a month. That was a really good price for a truck. If we had bought it outright, it would not have been. The payment wouldn't have been that much. This was a beautiful, brand new, blue, beautiful Chevy truck. So he ends up. We leased this, and I remember going to bed at night all in turmoil, not wanting anyone to know that we leased it, especially our best friends, because that was like a my mind took it as, oh, you release your Wagoneer. Okay, Melissa, I got a great story at the end of this. So what ended up happening? Good for you. It was known as the most people are like, leasing is a terrible thing. That's why Sherry is asking different people. They're couple of years, I get a brand new vehicle. Okay, that's exactly it. But this truck was a $60,000 truck, and the lease I think was 3 years. I'm pretty sure it was 3 years, and so it was no hardship. The only hardship, because in Maine, the excise tax is stupid. Down here, it would be awesome. But in Maine, you have to pay the excise tax as if you bought a brand new truck and you didn't buy it. So we won't go there. Anyway, so I ended up at the end of the lease, we ended up, but okay, so anyway, it ended up coming out to people. But I remember in the night, sleeping, not wanting anybody, the anxiety, the angst of I did something wrong. And you know what? At the end of that lease, Peter happened to look up what the buyout would be. $19,000 for a 3-year-old truck that we could have turned around and sold for at least 30, but we didn't want to. We just went and got a loan and paid for it, bought it out. And our payment it was less than what the lease was. It was crazy. Even if we would have sold it, we would have made money on it. So leasing is not always a bad thing. He took excellent care of this, and we wanted it because we loved the truck. We knew that we took care of it. The windows were never open when it was raining. The things you think about. He kept it in pristine shape. He always takes very good care of our vehicle. So yeah, the lease thing was not a horrible. When Sherry called yesterday, she's asking about this, and I was starting to tell her, and he goes, "We've never leased a vehicle before. The white truck that we leased to uh, to um, take but we had traded in the blue one on the white one or something, or we sold it. No, we sold the blue one. We sold it anyway. I don't remember that part, but I just remember the blue one because of the anxiety I went through for nothing, for a thought saying I did it wrong. We did something wrong, and we didn't. Anyway, so we ended up, yeah, he thinks that the only lease we ever did was on the white truck to pull the camper. And Sherry heard us just bickering, going, "What? Interesting. I'm considering buying it out too. It's a $60,000 truck too. Payments are high, but I love it. It feels safe in it." Okay, so when it's close to ours was a three-year lease. So when it's close to your payout, see what the payout is. I'm I'll bet you it's a substantial. You can't buy a new one for what the payout is. I, it was like a no-brainer. So Peter didn't do the bills back then. I did, and it, I always wanted him to because I just stressed about bills all the time. And then after the scam, or during the scam, he took it over. And you know what? It's so nice not to have to deal with that anymore. I'm totally removed from it all. It's so nice. But I don't like to see him stressed out. But there's nothing I can do. I can't get him to stop. He has to come to that on his own. We all have to come to the realization that these thoughts are causing, there is no stress in the world. Zero. It's what you're thinking about. And what I was thinking about was that I did something wrong and people are going to find out. The shame, that's what stress is. Shame and resentment and bitterness and anger towards somebody else. Take a breath. Anytime you're feeling stress, I get Cohen, this kid, when he's like, "Ah, ah," I get right in his face and I say, take a breath, Cohen. And I'll breathe with him. If I can get 3 breaths into that kid, 3 deep, nice, solid breaths, he just comes out of it. It's, uh, anyway, yeah, Peter doesn't believe this ever happened. And I can't, I got no proof. So I'm letting it go. Basically letting it go. I can't. I might have written about it in my journals, but I don't want to go back through there. I know what I went through, and that's why. If you notice that your emotions, when something happens, you'll forget about what happened yesterday, what you ate, what you did, what time, whatever, because there's no emotion attached. But when there's emotion attached to a memory, that's when you really can remember. When there's yeah, anything. That's just the mind loves to chew on that. It's just its favorite thing to do is just keep you in. No shame here. I'm proud of what I have and I can provide for myself. You got it, girl. Yeah, this was, jeez. This was probably 2014, 15, something like that. No, even earlier, somewhere around there. So it was a while ago. It was before the realization of whenever there's upset here, I know I'm not here. I know that I'm caught in the poor me, the thoughts of I, which isn't even real. Actually, this near death experience one, the one they talk about how real where we're going is so real. So real that this guy, he's crying as he's talking about it. He's talking about how he didn't even know about chakras. He didn't know about, he saw the blades of grass alive, the trees alive, and how you can get energy from a tree. You can share your the energy that you really are, can share it with a tree. A tree is the same thing. And that's what he goes, now I'm a tree hugger. I didn't know there was a stigma attached to leasing. There is a lot in the old, because leasing came out, yeah, I don't even know the year, but probably before you were even driving, Melissa. Seriously. So the older, our generation is like, that's a bad thing. You're throwing your money away, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, stigma. I read stigma, and it isn't even, I read stigma, and it wasn't even what you wrote. Our minds fill in. Have you ever seen those posts on Facebook that have all they have not one word is right. It's all like it'll say Y but WYH, or they just change. Wait, no, they just changed the first and last. The first and last letters are right, but all the rest are not. But your mind fills it in. You can read it like it was re- right, like it was written right, and you can read it without a problem. And it's not saying anything legible. Our minds fill in. That's proof that our minds fill in, and it's instant. It fills in whatever it's programmed to believe, and we're programmed to believe. Stigma has starts with a S, T, and an A at the end. I read stigma. There is no T in her first. That's the way. Oh boy, it's. I bet I could find it and post it because it is crazy. It comes up every once in a while. Oh, and you can read the whole paragraph. It's a big one. You can read the whole thing just like it's written normal, and it's not. That's proof that our minds fills in what it's programmed to believe. That's why if you sit with yourself and see the beliefs after the scam, sitting in that, I saw that anytime I judge somebody, because I used to judge my mom as sitting on the couch all the time because she was always complaining about her legs hurting or blah blah blah. Just complaining, and I would say, well, inside myself, I wouldn't say it to her. You're basically sitting all day long. There are days during that scam. Hi, come in. I was sitting on the couch by myself, not moving for months, and I had to come up with just feel that judgment of my. You're when you're judging somebody, you're literally judging yourself because it's in your head, not in them. So when I sat there day after day sitting there, those judgments would come up. I saw, well, I had judged somebody else. If I judged uh, anybody, what else was it? God, there was so many beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful because I got to see the judging machine that is that little me that is not who you are. But as you see through the judgments, and you can't judge it anymore because you see that you're judging yourself, and it's only hurting you. It's literally only hurting you. Any judgment that comes up is hurting you. And the thing is, that pain that you feel as you're judging someone, it's basically when you're pushing it off onto them, you're not looking at yourself. It's easier to push it onto somebody else than look at yourself. And I know it's not easy to look at yourself and what's going on. And you're because that ego is hidden. It doesn't want to hear what it's doing wrong. It does not want to hear it. It stings. It it's only, this is what I told my sister, it's only stinging the thing that's not real. The little me that believes it's this person. It's and as the stings happen, or the Heat. You'll feel heat, like embarrassment. That's the best. That once you're embarrassed, you know that it's burning. It's burning away the little me. Every time it stings, just know that as it hurts inside, that little me, just feel it. Don't push it away. Feel it. Let it burn through. It's not hurting anything. It it's literally eroding away the me that you believe yourself to be that isn't reality. And this guy was talking about how real it is where we're going. And it doesn't mean to get out of suffering, you to look forward to dying or whatever, but it's not anything to fear at all. There is so much faith after I've listened to countless near death experiences because the awakening that I had when I was 34 years old got me to see a different way to see life. So then it sent me on this search to understand what the hell was that. And near death experience people are it's the exact same thing. Everything that they say is exactly what I was experiencing for that short amount of time. And when they come back, they have a transition period where they are like, what? Because you get dumped back into this 3D reality that's dense and thick and coming through your beliefs. But as the beliefs start going, the lighter you are. It's not so dense anymore. The lighter you are, the more you go through life not taking shit so serious. So it's not so heavy on your body. It's light. So and you laugh. Sometimes I laugh at things that at school that seems inappropriate to the ones that are totally immersed in this heavy belief of seriousness. Nothing is serious here. When you start realizing that it's all love, it's all love, including the trees, the grass. We're not separate from anything. The energy, the life force that we are isn't separate from anything. And that I'm going to post it on this thing, on this feed after I'm done. If any of you want to go see it, it'll be there. Uh, I'm telling you, feel you can feel it. He says he talks about he's crying while he's saying it. He says he couldn't at first when he first came out of the the near death experience and he was trying to tell people about it. They were like, "What the fuck? What?" Nobody. You will resonate with what he's saying, and he's crying through it. He says he used to blubber like a baby when he first came out. He could not talk about it. Now he's the emotion is still there, but he can get through it. And all the other panels, there's 4 different people on this panel, and they're they're asking him questions, and they're corroborating. I don't know his experience because he went to the IONS, which is a near death experience that I wanted to go to. I wish I had gone to it in Chicago. Yeah, I guess they do it at different spaces. But I was going to go with Michelle, and just the timing just I felt a real pull to go, but it didn't happen. But that doesn't mean they do it every year. Anyway, so it's quite. He said he quite got quite the shot in the arm because whenever that little me feels lost and alone and feeling upset inside and just uncomfortable, irritable, and somebody comes along and understands and can just say a couple of things to bring some clarity, there's nothing like it. You just it can release so much negative emotion that's inside. It can release it because we don't even realize we're in the negative emotion a lot of times. We're just so stuck in those mind patterns that were put in there when we were children, believing that we are doing life wrong. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Or Kyle. Oh, I heard that so many times. So many times. But just listening to this, there's something inside of there. You would not be listening to this that feels the freedom, and know that anytime something comes up and there's a to it, you know inside of you. Or if you're uh, taking time for yourself and processing stuff, that's the best for you. Getting by yourself and just saying, show me, I want to see. The beginning of this video was about me saying, I want to see a difference. I want to, and I wanted to talk with Joe. What? Within a week, it was brought to me. What? As long as you stay open, that's all. Life will bring it to you. Your life, your God, your people who have died, their spirit is with you. Their whatever animated them is what animates you. And this, they can't go anywhere. It's around you at all times. It is with you. Ask, use them, use their image because it's still in there. Use me, Mom, Peapod, Kyle. Say, show me. I want to see. Show me what I'm stewing about here. That's not real. That's not true. All the thoughts that are going on in there are not true, and they cause upset in this body. But, like I said, the suffering, like I told you, Kyle, this week, the suffering is what gets you to be open to this message, which is not going to be openly received. I mean, there's a lot of people now that are talking about it. I'm not alone, and there's a lot of different people coming out and talking about, because it's been years. I literally almost, it has been 30 years. 30. Okay, in the timeline of Lori, the little me, the Lori me, it seemingly has been 30 years of this, you know, this awakening, if you want to call it, the awakening to the reality of what's going on here. Because what you see and hear and believe is true is not. It's just not. But we're all conditioned as children to believe it. When we were babies, even toddlers, we were just going through life. We were not directed by a mind, I shouldn't do that, or I need to do that, or something bad's going to happen. Nothing bad happens. It's all for us. You can look at it as bad, but when you look back, that scam looks like the worst. $30,000 gone. I remember thinking, if that would happen to me back in the past, oh my God, please don't let that happen to me. But you know what? It was the best thing that happened to me, because it made me sit here in that shame and regret and bitterness at myself, feeling it all. You don't have to. You don't have to go through a scam but whatever you're going through in your life, accept it for what it is. Know that it is for your growth. It is not, you're not a victim of anybody. It is for you. It's for your awakening. And you'll see patterns. Life, our thoughts are patterns. It's patterns. That's what our lives are until you realize you come out of the pattern. My pattern was looking outside of myself and thinking another pair of pants was and they would put another pair of pants in front of me. And right now at this school, there's another pair of pants in front of me. We have lunch together every day, and I love him. He is an awesome man, but I could see it's another thing that I could go with thinking that's better for me. That's not. I at this point I know. Like actually there was another pair of pants that showed up when I was with Jeannie downtown. We had gone to a bar. Her and her housekeeper from up north. We went to a bar and there was I told you guys know about this. There was a millionaire. He made me know that he was a millionaire and he was, you know, flattering, saying how beautiful I was, how attracted he was to me, and all this. And I literally said to, I knew at that point, at that nothing outside of you is going to ever fill that void, that little me's uh, fear of not being enough. He was the millionaire. He was nice looking. He was uh, thinking I was attractive. I pointed to him and I said, none of that impresses me. And he looked at me. I said, I want to know what's in that. I pointed to his heart. I want to know what's in your heart. Because that was a pattern of Lori's, was thinking another, because Peter and I have been together since we were 14, 15 years old. So there was always a subconscious belief that someone else could be better. Even though I got the best thing sitting right there. Actually, the best thing is you. You are the best thing in your life. But then I ended up having, I remember my doctor, after losing the baby between, isn't that funny? I'm second week of talking about this and I never talked about this before. Um, After losing the baby, my doctor, in between the boys, my doctor said to me how he knew that my dad was an alcoholic and whatever. I don't know how he knew that, but anyway, he said after your, and we must have talked about it or something, but he said something like, you're very fortunate to have Peter, to have a husband who's so supportive as because mom had lost a baby. I mean, he was 8 months gestation. He was a fully formed baby, her first baby, and he died. And dad didn't know how to deal with his own emotions, and he forbid her to speak about it. She couldn't talk about it, and if she cried in front of he did not. She wasn't allowed to cry about it. She wasn't allowed to feel. Ah, and when I was feeling it, Peter was feeling it too. It was he didn't like to see me cry because he's so compassionate, so loving. Mm, when you're realizing that somebody's doing things that not to you, they're doing it out of love, that what their capacity of love, which isn't okay. Your only capacity to love another is the capacity that you realize the love that you are. When you don't love yourself, you cannot love someone else. That love that you are is threatening to the little me. It's scary because it's vulnerable. Vulnerability is, and literally right now, I'm talking to myself. I always am. But this one is really good telling you vulnerability is the key. When you have the walls up, the brick walls up, and the fight, the wall is in you. You think you're keeping them out, but you're keeping you from you. You're keeping the reality of you, the love from you, away from yourself when you hold bitterness and anger and resentment for someone else or judging them for doing life wrong. because we only see what we're believing. Our beliefs are what we're seeing out there. If we believe that we're not worthy of love, we're not going to get that. We're not, it's not going to be reflected back to you. And as you, this is, you can use this as a barometer as you start questioning, as you start, as this message starts getting in a little bit, you start questioning, okay, where am I not loving myself here? Where am I not being my best friend? Where am I hurting myself by putting a wall up? Those walls are putting your heart behind them. And it hurts you. And that's why it's so miserable inside of you. And it's not an easy road. I know it's not an easy road. But reach out. I'm here. If there's something that hurt, literally, it can be a 10-minute conversation. Boop, it can just by, I'm going to share this video of this near death experience thing, and that's going to, everything that I'm saying today, I think comes from there. I don't know. I say it. I repeat a lot because there's not a whole lot to say except you're the love you're looking for. And you're not going to get the approval from someone else. And that's the thing. When somebody seems like they're not approving of you, that's why it hurts, because you don't approve of you. We're looking for validation. I had a friend that swore she was losing her hair. As she came into my mind this morning when I was getting ready, she looked for me for validation that she's losing her hair for years. I think she still would want me to validate that she's losing her. Now, I was a hairdresser. I did people who really didn't have a lot of hair and trying to make it so it looked like they had a lot of hair. And this woman has a lot of hair. Maybe not as much as she had in the past, but that's what happens when we get older, seemingly. I don't have as much hair as I used to have. But her mind needed my validation, and I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I know where people really have lost a lot of hair and then bald. She was acting like she was bald, but she wasn't, and she still isn't. If I showed you a picture of her, she has more hair than I do. But that mind looks for validation from the outside because it doesn't feel worthy. It doesn't feel like it's enough. It doesn't believe it's good enough. And so when something on the outside happens and oh yeah, I'm good enough now, this is proving it. It's only temporary. It's only temporary because nothing in the world will ever satisfy that in not enoughness. You have to realize that you are enough. The love being that you are, the beingness of you, the nowness of you. No, because I've been noticing lately, talking with these autistic kids, they don't have a past and a future. They don't have a memory. Just like my grandson, when I say to him, when we're, they do video chats quite often, and they were up on the snowmobile. Taylor got a new snowmobile up at our property, and I said, "You were on the snowmobile yesterday?" And he's like, I'm thinking, shit, I don't want to. But he's going to, the memory is coming. It's just, but it's the memory of what, I mean, there's good memories, of course, but the memory of what they did to me is what causes the pain and suffering in us. It's like validation of I'm not enough or there's something wrong with me. If you watch any kind of what's that called, like a movie star will talk about their life or whatever, and it's always tied to their parents and how they never felt enough. All of them. That's the they're no different than we are. And that validation is they that look at Michael Jackson or Elvis or whoever, Whitney Houston, the list goes on. Robin Williams, the only place they felt good about themselves is when they had the adoration of the others. Elton John tried to kill himself. Elton John, that movie, Rocket Man, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that movie. Is excellent. He hit because his ego got so big that his costumes just got bigger and bigger. You could see it on the outside. That's how big his ego got, and it was blocking out the closest people to him. And I'm not saying, okay, so his childhood was, his mom was terrible, but okay, the word terrible is loosely because she didn't know any better. Her walls were around her heart from her childhood. Everybody's childhood is what creates that me, that false self that thinks it needs to fight through this timeline of life. All the while, that love that you really are, that doesn't need approval or disapproval, or it doesn't need anything. It doesn't need anybody's love. It's it is that. All the while, it's sitting there waiting for you to notice it. Notice that you are that. You don't need anybody's approval, like that woman that yelled at me this summer did not need her approval. Just compassion and love when she was screaming at me. Whenever somebody's yelling at you, just know that they're the ones, they're pointing, they're they're hurting themselves. It, but if you have a reaction to it, that's when you look and say, oh, okay, right here. It's coming from the little me. It's needing defense. Show me where I'm not loving myself in this moment. Show me. Because it's constantly comparing to others. The ego, the little false me, is constantly comparing to this one and that one. And we're either coming out better than, or most of the time it's less than. Looking at this one, say, oh, I wish I, blah, blah, blah. You can't acknowledge something good in someone else if it's no. It's in you. You just haven't seen it. You haven't given yourself credit because our minds don't, it dwells on the negative. That's what feeds it. That's what keeps it alive. Holy crap, it's 9:48. This has gone, woo! That's the first time I looked at the clock in the whole 48 minutes. Normally I look to see how far I am. Wow. That's when you're in the flow of, in the moment, time goes by and you don't even, what is your favorite thing to do? What is your thing that doesn't, you're not stuck in time? You're not watching the clock. What is it that you love to do that you lose complete track of time? That's when you're being the love that you are. And this is my being. I just love sharing this. And I know it sounds like bullshit, but there's something. It sounds like bullshit to the me, but there's something in there that knows or feels. Because your mind, this is what happened with me. Your mind is taking bits and pieces out of this and saying, yeah, putting it in your scenario of life. It's because we're all connected. We're not separate. We are the same love, the same energy, the same life force or wind. There's no wind today. The palms. Oh, maybe a little bit. But that wind that we are, that nothingness that keeps this alive, that keeps that heart beating, that when that stops, it's done. When that heart stops, we do not know when that is. It could be in the next 5 minutes. Done. Have you thought of that? All the little stresses, all the little blah, 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 blah. Was it worth it? Was it worth holding contempt for anybody when that contempt is blocking your heart, when that heart could just stop in a minute and it's over? Right, Melissa? You're you're you didn't know that your husband was going to die like that. He didn't know that it was going to be lights out, boom, over. Remember when you were just in that cocoon of pain and suffering and future thoughts of you had no idea what the future. Look at you now. That future seems so doom filled. That was a lot of the pain, wasn't it? Of the future. Anytime we think of the future, a flashing thought of tomorrow, even not knowing what it's an automatic rigidity in this body, automatic tension. Tension. Breathe. Whenever your intention, okay, whenever your body feels tense, have an intention to release it. Let your shoulders come down. Feel it right to your toes. Feel that aliveness. Can you feel it in your fingertips? Oh my God, I can feel it so strong right now. The aliveness in this body, right down to my toes. That's what you are, that energy. That's what you are. Not this little me with a reputation and needing to be perfect for blah, blah, blah. You don't need to be perfect for anyone. There is no perfection, or everybody's perfect. Exactly. Life knows exactly what it's doing. It does not ever make a mistake. Never makes a mistake. Everything that you're seemingly going through right now is for your awakening, for your realization of who you really are. And if it feels like shit, take a breath. Take 3 deep breaths and come back to now, where there is nothing wrong. Right now, woman sitting in chair. That's the only reality, and that's not even real. Because there is no woman. That's another label. But we won't go there. Come back to the now. Man sitting in chair. Man walking dog. That's it. All the rest is Maya. The fumbling in the mind, the looking, what? It's patterns of thought that aren't true. Wow, this was awesome for me. And I don't know what I'm going to call it, so I'll have to listen to it back, which is perfect. Because I really am talking to myself when I watch these back. I used to be just for to get a title, but now it's actually because I'm literally talking to myself. Literally, it's so cool to see myself talking to me. Lori talking to Lori. All right. Seems like it's done. Didn't see Cynthia this morning. Thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for entertaining this message for you. I hope you feel the love in it. I approve of every one of you. I know you're not doing anything wrong at all. Have a great week.